Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all the praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to my apostles, elders, and teachers at Great Millstone Naruwa. And peace, love, mercy, and salutations to you, sincere brothers, man, okay? And also shalom to you, few sisters who listen and learn in silence. Now, I want to do a video here on this video in which I just saw this evening of this young Jake woman. She's going into, this bill that was given unto her, debt, all right? She was in the hospital for 3 days for having a broken leg. And so she's gonna, explain all the different charges, all right, that, accumulated to about $40,000, man. Okay. So that goes to show you ultimately the system is set up so that you're constantly going backwards. Okay. Hence why, majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. You see, and then also going back to the curses about, we should go unto him, for want of all things. Okay. So this is why the retirement age is, I believe, depending on where you're from, but, I believe around 65 to 67. All right. Somewhere around there. And so majority of people live, somewhere around there. So at the end of the day, okay, what you're looking at is you're working until you die. And then majority of the time, your debt is passed down to your children if you own a mortgage, all right? And so on and so forth, man. Okay, so I'm going to bring out this video, let this woman explain herself, okay, and to show you how detrimental, okay, being under Esau Edom is, okay? And then we'll bring out, some other, information we're pulling that this be edifying, all right? So here you go.
A hospital bill. I was in there for 3 days for a leg surgery, and I'm going to read you the itemized charge list. First, semi-private room and bed changes, $12,487. Changes for drugs and IV solutions, $2,222. Medical surgical supplies, $2,918. Clinical laboratory changes, $5,314. Operating room charges, $7,749. Anesthesia services, $2,157. Physical therapy, $874. I literally had no physical therapy. I had surgery and I walked with a nurse when I got out. And I was the one who said I wanted to walk on my own. I literally held some random nurse's arm. Emergency room services, $5,615. Recovery room services, $1,948, for a total of a whopping $41,288. Free that boy.
You see? And you can clearly see, bro, okay, that she's nowhere near having any amount of that money saved up in her bank account. Okay, so what this does to majority of people is build up stress, depression, etc. People get suicidal thoughts. You see, because ultimately, okay, the average person does not have anywhere near amount that, okay, saved up in their bank account to be able to, afford, emergencies. All right, you see, having an emergency fund. All right. And so I just, did a quick research here, just, on Google, and I just typed how much debt does the average American have? And it shows right here, it says the average American household debt, including mortgages, okay, which, the word mortgage, okay, goes back to, the word, Moreno, I believe, which, goes into the word debt, okay, or death. So most people are, who have mortgages, okay, are not going to be able to, pay all that money out, man. So constantly, guess what? You're in debt, man. Okay, so ultimately it says the average American household debt, including mortgages, is around 105,000. Okay, with total household debt reaching Okay, 18 trillion as of fourth quarter of 2024. Okay, so now right here, okay, kind of gives you, it says average household debt around 105,000. It says mortgage debt makes up 70% of the total household debt. Okay, average debt per American, excluding mortgages, are around $23,000. Okay, average credit card debt around 6,500. Average student loan debt around 38,290. Okay, average auto loan debt around 23,792. So you can clearly see, okay, that majority, okay, of the people in America are in debt. Okay, and these are all things in which, people use. Okay, vehicle. Okay, majority of what's being taught is you got to go to college, you got to go to school, so you have to take what student loans because nobody can be able to afford, okay, getting any education, right, without that student loan. Okay, credit card, which you need to have some sort of credit in order to be able to purchase anything. So you're forced to take a credit card. All right, shelter, mortgage, all right, and so on and so forth, man. Okay, and this are all things that is what you would call is a necessity. All right, you see, but other than that, you got other debt and which is not even included here. But you can clearly see that no matter what you do, you're constantly going backwards. And then when you have an emergency, okay, as what that woman was going into, okay, she had a broken leg. Now she's in $40,000 behind, man. How the hell are you going to be able to pay that off? Okay, I believe in the book of Haggai. Is it Haggai? Salaki, give me a sec. Come on, beautiful. The book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 6, it says, "Ye have sown much and bring in little." Okay, so you're working constantly, but you're bringing in little. Okay, what does that mean? Taxes. You see, especially here in Canada too. Okay, here it is. You're working your ass off, and majority of what you're working or majority of your income goes towards taxes. Okay, and then you'll be like, oh well, you know what? Let me put on, some overtime. Hell no. Okay, the more overtime you work, the more taxes they take out. You're getting a little bit of that money. So here it is, your body's breaking down. Okay, you're working a lot, but you're not bringing in enough. So ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. So that hole, okay, that bag with the hole, it's like a funnel. It all goes back to Esau, Edom. Okay, you see, that's where that debt comes into play. So you're constantly, as soon as you get paid, okay, you got to pay your rent or your mortgage. Okay, you got to pay your car bill. Okay, your auto loan. Okay, if you have insurance. Okay, you got to pay that. All right, you got your phone bill. All right, you got to pay for groceries. You see, and any other bill, power bill, water bill, okay, Wi-Fi, internet, right? You see, your children are in daycare, you got to pay for that. All right, so everything goes back to the system. Everything goes back to Esau, Edom, man. Okay, now let's get this. Okay, the book of Habakkuk. Okay, let's start from chapter 2, verse 1. Okay, it says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon the table, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay, we're getting closer. Okay, you see, and so the scriptures is saying right here, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. Who is this he? Esau Edom. His soul is not upright in him. Okay, so it says, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Okay, he wants power and control over everything, man. Okay, he's never satisfied. And it says right here, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, saying, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Okay, so through debt is how Esau Edom is able to, constantly stay in rulership, man. He has all these different nations, okay, and the people, of course, being in debt. So that word thick clay, all right, is here.
Strong's H, 5671, Avteet.
And it says right here, it says weight of pledges, and says heavy debts. Okay, that's what that word thick clay is going into, man. Debt. Okay, and so clearly, as you can see, that a lot of these people, okay, are living in debt. A lot of us are living in debt, man. Okay, and so through Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai coming back to take the crown and to kick this man in the ass, okay, you see, that's the only way we're going to be able to get out of it, man. Okay, but clearly, as you can see, let me play this one more time.
I just got my hospital bill. I was in there for 3 days for a leg surgery, and I'm going to read you the itemized charge list. First, semi-private room and bed changes, $12,487. Changes for drugs and IV solutions, $2,222. Medical surgical supplies, $2,918. Clinical laboratory changes, $5,314. Operating room charges, $7,749. Anesthesia services, $2,157. Physical therapy, $874. I literally had no physical therapy. I had surgery and I walked with a nurse when I got out. And I was the one who said I wanted to walk on my own. I literally held some random nurse's arm. Emergency room services, $5,615. Recovery room services, $1,948. For a total of a whopping $41,288. Free that boy.
You see? And so, she was going into, free that boy, Luigi, all right? But ultimately, man, Esau Edom has his hand behind all of this. So no matter, who is the face, okay, etc., it don't matter, man. Esau Edom, okay, he's the one that's running shit, and the people that you don't see are the ones that have more power than those that you do see, okay? And so at the end of the day, hey, man, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Barakatah to all you brothers and sisters who are willing that this was edifying, and take time. Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Barakatah.